we are going to talk about how to survive your nesting or transition phase. Hey there Ninja, welcome back to my channel. This is Rhea once again, and you are still watching Call Center Ninja. Today we're going to talk about some of the tips that you need to learn in order for you to survive your nesting or your transition stage. If you don't know yet, nesting or your transition phase is usually the phase or the stage right after your classroom training. This is still somehow part of your training, but you are already starting to take calls. You will have some coaching time or off the phone time, and you will be in a very controlled environment because you will be observed a lot since you are still starting to take calls. So before we start, please do not forget to subscribe. If you haven't yet, just click the red subscribe button. And of course, if you have already subscribed, then thank you so much. On to the first tip. Take as many calls as you can. Some of my trainees before would usually get scared because they just did not want to take their first call. But you have to accept that you are going to take calls because that's what you're there for. That's why you're working in a call center, for you to take calls, right? So the best way for you to actually learn and apply what you have learned from training is to take as many calls as you can. So don't be scared because transition or nesting phase or whatever you call it in your call center is the best time for you to learn because you still have coaches, you have your supervisor walking around, roving around, observing, listening to your calls, and you can always ask questions. The tendency is when you get scared a lot or when you get lazy to take calls, you will not learn the different types of calls, and it is going to work at your disadvantage because when you start taking calls and no one is there to help you, like it's the real thing, it's a production floor, then it will be harder for you to keep up because you have not experienced a lot of the different call types when you were in transition or your nesting phase. So there, don't be scared. Just take as many calls as you can and learn as many call types as you can as early as nesting or transition. Okay. Tip number 2 is to treasure your coaching, feedback, or off the phone time. A lot of my trainees previously, from what I've observed, when it's coaching or off the phone time, they roam around, they go to the pantry, they chit chat. You know, it can happen sometimes because you feel tired or you feel you want to breathe from all the calls that you've taken. But really, those off the phone times are actually paid by the client so that you can learn from your coaches, so that you can ask questions. So if you have that time to speak with your coach or speak with your supervisor about your call, then take it. I may sound super strict right now, and I may sound super by the book because I'm saying this, but really, you have to be professional because it's also for your own good. Number 3 is don't be too hard on yourself. You are still starting to learn. You are still starting to take calls. I hear a lot of people say, I did not hit my quota for the week, for the day. I got a failing survey on my first day. I did not help the customer the way she wanted me to. I got a failing QA score. My AHT or handle time is very, very high. And I asked them, how many days have you been taking calls? It's my first day of calls. It's my second day of calls. So you guys, you have to loosen up a little bit. I know the environment can be quite scary and quite stiff because it's, again, your first day or maybe first week of taking calls, but do not be too hard on yourself, okay? Everybody has his or her own learning curve. Maybe you are still starting that curve. Maybe you're still learning the ropes. So give some time for yourself to learn, and the very important thing you should focus on is your progress. And don't compare your progress with those who already have experience in the call center because, of course, obviously, they will have an edge and they will be ahead of you in that type of aspect because they already have call center experience. So there, take it easy, one call at a time, one step at a time. And believe me, you can do it. I've seen it happen before. As long as you're there, present, taking calls and learning as much as you can do it. Tip number 4 is be accountable for your own learning. What do I mean by this? You have to be proactive. Ask questions if there is something or anything that you do not understand. Don't wait for your supervisor or coach to ask you, how are you doing? Tell them right away how you feel. Tell them that you did not understand your previous call. Tell them, how would I respond to this type of customer? Tell them what is the best way to respond to this customer. Always be proactive. When I say proactive, you do it first. You ask it first. You do not just sit and wait for them to tell you what to do. So that's how you're accountable of your own learning, because at the end of the day, you only have yourself to depend on. You have your coaches, you have your supervisor or your teammates, but there will come a time when you are taking calls on your own and maybe your supervisor, your teammate, your manager is not there. You have yourself to depend on. So you have to be self-reliant and know how to be dependent to yourself, or trust your tools, your knowledge base, or maybe your job aid. And tip number 5 is share what you know. The beauty of being in the call center industry is that you get to work with a team, a dynamic environment wherein you are able to share what you have learned. Even though you are a newbie, there's always something that you have learned from your own call that the other person beside you did not learn at all. So if you have the chance to share that call, how to answer it, how to resolve it, then go ahead and share. If you get the chance to ask a question that everybody in your team can learn from, then go ahead and do it. Because again, at the end of the day, you are one team. You're not just working individually, you're also working as your team. Your performance is also going to be part of the performance of your team or your manager's team, the entire call center, the entire company. So share whatever you've learned, and you will reap the rewards as well, because other people will also get to share whatever they've learned to you. So it's a win-win situation. And that's about it for today. I hope you've learned something from what I've been talking about earlier. So if you are already in training or transition or nesting phase, I hope that you're taking it easy, but at the same time, you are being professional with the type of job or role that you are taking. And good luck to you. I hope that you enjoy and learn as much as you can. And remember, you can do it. Claim it and believe in yourself. So if you like this content, please like, subscribe if you haven't yet. Remember, I have videos every Wednesdays and Fridays. If you haven't followed my Facebook page yet, please follow my Facebook page if you like. It's Call Center Ninja, link in the description down below. Or if we're not friends on Instagram and you like that kind of thing, you can also add me on Instagram, link down below. So see you again next time. Take care and babush!